Maritime Radar, brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council.
Hello and welcome to Maritime Radar. The Nigerian Port Authority in February 2021 launched the electronic call-up system for trucks at the ports in Lagos. The NPA electronic call-up system, which is powered by a web application called ECOWAS, is expected to put an end to the Apapa roads nightmare caused by articulated trucks and corrupt security and traffic control officials. Restoring sanity to cargo operations at the Lagos port, this brought about a widespread optimism concerning what the new electronic call-up system would achieve. The electronic call-up system, managed by Truck Transit Park Limited, is an app through which truckers are expected to book turns to enter the ports. The electronic call-up system launch has reduced traffic gridlock along the port route and cut cargo dwell time, thereby making the port more competitive. But are there still challenges? Assessing how the call-up system can help address congestion, operational awareness, and improve integration are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. I am Onwubuariri. The Nigerian Ports Authority solution to the chaotic gridlock seen on the access road to the Nigerian port is the introduction of the electronic call-up system called ECOWAS. As movement in and out of the port was nothing to write about, port operators and residents of Apapa, Tinkan, and its environs spent hours on the road before they could access their homes and offices due to the gridlock. Many friends and residents were forced to relocate from Apapa. The gridlock also seems to defy all known solutions that the government deployed to tackle the crisis. Port users, especially truck owners and drivers, had accused the various task force teams set up by the government at some point of high-handedness, bribery, corruption, and sabotage. The horrible traffic on the port access road caused haulage costs to skyrocket as importers abandoned their cargoes in the seaport due to the inability to move it out of the port as a result of the high haulage costs. Before we get further into today's lineup on the program, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
The Isiala Ngwa Inland Dry Port IDP project, gazetted in 2006, is now receiving renewed attention through the Nigerian Shippers Council (NSC), which is leading its revitalization as part of efforts to improve inland connectivity and decentralize maritime operations. The project is set to become a major economic driver for Abia State and the Southeast region. During a courtesy visit to the governor of Abia State, the executive secretary and the CEO of the NSC, Pius Akuta, thanked the governor for his support and stressed the strategic importance of the dry port in decentralizing maritime activities and extending logistics infrastructure deeper inland.
Provision of critical infrastructure, including access roads, electricity, and water supply to the project site. 2. Equity and concessionaire engagement to encourage compliance with financial and operational obligations going forward. Number 3. Establishment of a state implementation committee to coordinate with the council and the concessionaire for effective project delivery. Your Excellency, the Nigerian Shippers Council remains committed and steadfast in its commitment to this project. We are prepared to provide all necessary regulatory and technical support and to work with all stakeholders to actualize this vision. With your leadership, alongside the bold maritime reforms of the Honorable Minister and the infrastructure prioritization of Mr. President, we are confident that the Isiala Ngwa IDP will become a model of sub-national integration into continental trade under AFTA.
The governor of Abia State, Alex Olti, also thanked the NSC team for the visit, expressing his eagerness for the inland dry port operations to commence.
But I'm happy to be part of the solution to this. I want the port to start working yesterday, but then you want to You want to be sure that when you have invested money, done all the things that you need to do, that it will be patronized. You've seen that even with Onne Port, with Port Harcourt Port, with Calabar, a lot of our people still face Lagos. That's the reason. So if you don't understand why people do what they do, you can't even solve the problem. I can't sit here and tell you that I have the solution. No, I don't. I'm still learning, and I'm happy to learn so that we can solve the problem once and for all.
With the project now on the way, the NSC will provide the technical and regulatory support needed to ensure the dry port becomes a key asset for economic growth, cutting costs, improving efficiency, and enhancing export opportunities for Nigerian shippers. The presidency has announced that the tenure of the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adeniyi, has been extended by President Bola Tinubu. Adeniyi's tenure, which was due to expire on 31st of August 2025, has been extended by 1 year, according to a statement released this week by presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga. He said that the extension would enable Adeniyi to consolidate ongoing reforms and complete critical initiatives of this administration. The reforms, according to Ononuga, include the modernization of the Nigerian Customs Service, the implementation of the National Single Window Project, and the execution of Nigeria's obligation under the African Continental Free Trade Area AfCFTA Protocol. Ononuga added that President Tinubu recognizes Adeniyi's steadfast leadership and commitment to service, and that the president is confident this extension will further strengthen the Nigerian Customs Service in achieving its strategic mandate of trade facilitation, revenue generation, and border security. Tinubu appointed Adeniyi as Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service in October 2023, taking over from former CG Ahmed Ali in June 2023, initially serving in an acting capacity.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Reader. Port congestion in West Africa is a persistent problem affecting several key ports, leading to significant delays, increased costs, and trade inefficiencies. The issue stems from a combination of several factors, including inadequate infrastructure, inefficient cargo handling, and high demand. Several ports, particularly in Nigeria, face severe congestion, impacting not only local businesses, but also the broader regional and global supply chain. What then is the solution to this menace? Experts say adopting digital technologies such as electronic cargo tracking systems and automated port operations can improve efficiency and transparency. Also, collaboration between West African countries to standardize custom procedures and infrastructure development can enhance regional trade and competitiveness. In this chat with Jama, Onwubuariri, Managing Director, Truck Transit Park Limited, he speaks on how to further build on existing success to enhance terminal efficiency and prevent congestion still experienced. How then can call-up system help address congestion, operational awareness, improve integration, and barriers to regional adoption? This and many more in this hot but solution-driven conversation. Stay with us. It's good to have you join us again on Maritime Reader.
Thank you, Norma. It's my pleasure to be here once again.
Okay, so let's start from home. Starting this conversation looking at congestion. While the collaboration amongst the Nigerian Port Authority, Lagos State Government and TTP has been quite fruitful, but there are still challenges. How do we further enhance terminal efficiency to prevent artificial bottlenecks that is still witnessed around the port corridors?
Thank you very much, Norma. I agree with you that the collaboration between TTP, Nigerian Port Authority, and the Lagos State Government has been successful. And for the benefit of our viewers, Some of those successes have included clearing the years-long endemic traffic along the port corridor. We've also reduced the time it takes to evacuate cargo from the seaports out to the mainland, and also the cost of doing so, particularly the transportation cost. We have also improved the digital integration of our maritime industry, better than where it was in 2019-2020. And there's also the environmental impacts, because since trucks are no longer static along the bridges, along the Apapa and Tinkan Island roads, the environment is cleaner, the air quality has improved, and drivers' quality of life has improved. But you mentioned challenges, and the truth is that those challenges are also part of the successes. Because immediately you identify a solution to a problem, you climb a level at which you meet a new devil, as they say. So some of those challenges have included some stakeholders who are either stuck in manual mode. They have learned to do things manually. So going electronic is not something they are very willing or perhaps able to migrate to. There are also those who thrive in chaos. There are people who are part of the old system, who want the system to remain as it was in 2019-2020. So some of these ones have been actively and sometimes clandestinely opposing the improved digitization of ports access. So what are we doing about it? These challenges are what helps us to wake up in the morning and have something to go at. For one, we have deployed what is called the electronic tag on a trial basis. That electronic tag gives a digital identity to every truck that is doing maritime business at the ports. That way, from the time that the truck has been programmed or booked to go into the port until it finishes that transaction, it cannot change its identity. You may have heard that some of the truck drivers will use fake plate numbers or duplicated plate numbers.
No, I didn't hear, because I even did a special report on it. So it's not something that is
you are told.
Alleged. Yes,
it's
I was
something
told.
that you
something that
saw.
I saw.
Correct.
Yes.
So this call-up system has different stakeholder responsibilities. So enforcement is outside of our purview. But again, when you have issues like plate number racketeering, it is something that requires both digital and regulatory solution. So one of the digital solutions which we have designed is to have an electronic tag for each truck. So irrespective of what you do with your plate number, the identity of the truck will not change. So you will not be able to manipulate the system using a flick.
How has that fared?
So that system is awaiting MPA approval for it to go live. The trial period has been concluded and it was very successful. The second aspect is regulatory oversight. Today, we do not have a single database where every vehicle that is registered on Nigerian roads can be found. The Federal Road Safety Commission does not have that. The Nigerian Police does not have that. So we have engaged with both the Federal Road Safety Commission and MPA that we could digitize that platform so that every vehicle that is registered, you have one single dashboard where you can see the identity of that vehicle.
If that succeeds, that's a good one.
Yes, so it is going to make sure that the issue of racketeering of plate numbers would stop. We also are engaging in training and enlightenment for our various stakeholders so that they can understand the system better. They are able to cut out the middlemen who sometimes take advantage of the digital illiteracy of some users to increase the price of the services. And we are also engaging with the regulators to ensure that the tankers, which currently are not part of the call-up system, are onboarded on the call-up system. So that way you can have an integrated system that captures every stakeholder and that people can very easily use on a self-service basis.
Okay, what of the alleged increasing and extortion before assessing the port that's been seen around that corridor? They said that they are not your staff. So how have you been able to address this? In collaboration with NP and Lagos State government.
Correct. So you have what we typically call non-state actors. So you have what we call in Nigeria area boys. You also have police and other law enforcement agencies who are on official duty along the port access routes. Many drivers have experienced and complained of experiencing extortion by these agents. So the area boys may be claiming that they are part of the transporters union, the drivers union, and that they are collecting union dues along the road. Some of them claim that they are sent by the local government and they are collection agents for the local government. Other drivers have alleged that some of these third-party non-state actors are actually working for law enforcement agents who don't want their faces to be seen or to be shown. So these are a set of complaints which we have continued to channel to the right authorities to address. TTP's role remains to provide a digital platform that would capture every stakeholder's role. And then ensure
because not addressing this, it's making it seem that whatever effort you are putting in to ensure the call-up system works is being hampered because of this. So it should be something that you should also put on the front burner to ensure that this is put before the relevant authorities to be able to address that. So, but moving away from Nigeria to West Africa, let's look at the state of transport infrastructure in West Africa. I understand you just completed a 6,000 kilometer tour across the ECOWAS corridor, which got me curious really. So talk to us about what inspired this move and what strategic take home for you having involved in this trip.
All right. So, Nigeria, as well as other countries in Africa, signed the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Nigeria is also a signatory to ECOWAS protocol on movement of persons and goods. It's called the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme. Now, these two agreements, the ACFA and the EIETS, are meant to ensure that people and goods are able to move freely within Africa under the ACFTA and also within the ECOWAS region. I took a 1-month road trip across 7 West African countries to understand exactly how these protocols, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement and the ECOWAS protocol, are being implemented on the ground, instead of just reading it on the newspaper and hearing from third-party information. I also wanted to understand, given that most of the goods that move between ECOWAS borders are through the roads, and these are moved usually using trucks, what is the state of road infrastructure that supports the movement of these goods? What is it like for a truck driver who is moving from Nigeria to Abidjan? What are his challenges? What are his experiences? What are the gaps that exist both in the process and also in the infrastructure? What are the extent of digital integration of these processes? What is the state of our borders, immigration and customs? And how can TTP, a digital company that also has infrastructure plans, can help African and particularly West African customs and port authorities, together with ministries of transportation, to improve the state of infrastructure and digitalization of trade along the corridor? So that was why I undertook the trip. Now, what impressed me, I will start with the positive. I think I was very impressed with the quality of policing along the corridor, especially by Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Burkina Faso. I also noticed that quite a good stretch of the road infrastructure on the corridor is in good repair, even though many of them will need expansion because of the increasing volume of both human and cargo transport along the route. On the not so positive, I think that lack of modern rest stops for drivers is a very big issue. A lot of times I'll see drivers who left Sokoto 4 days ago who maybe have a mechanical problem. They are parked on the road. They pass the night in the open. Their goods are exposed. Sometimes they complain about theft. Sometimes because of where the trucks are parked, they cause accidents. You also experience, especially between the Nigeria and Benin side, a lot of checkpoints, a lot of bad spots on the road that affect the pace at which you could deliver goods and passengers from one point to the other. I also think that the ports, particularly Tema ports, the Abidjan ports, and also the Liberia ports, while they have digitally integrated a lot of their processes, there is still a very big room for improvement. There is congestion at these 3 ports that I've mentioned, particularly because of lack of parking infrastructure for the trucks, and also lack of a digital-based call-up system that would enable the trucks to come at scheduled times and in trickles. So these are some of the observations that I made, and I believe that these are also opportunities for improvement in the way we do business.
Okay, so we'll be looking more into these challenges to digital traffic coordination and how the call-up system can help address it. But that will be after the short. Please stay with us.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Welcome back if you are just joining us. This is Maritime Read and I still have with me Jama, Onwubuariri. Before we went to that break, we were talking about the challenges you saw in the West African region. But what are the other challenges in terms of digital traffic coordination, and how can technology or call-up system help position to address these issues across the region? What are those things? Let us look at the solutions now, since the challenges have been identified.
Yes, so I wouldn't particularize this to any country. I will just mention what I noticed across board. The lack of digital integration in how transit vehicles are processed and transit cargo are processed is a very big opportunity for technology companies like Trucks Transit Parks Limited. It's also an opportunity for other tech-based companies within the region to step up and assist governments, especially the customs and port authorities, to improve the efficiency of their respective operations. For instance, if you take a look at the ports within the region, if you are approaching the port, one of the things that hits you is long lines of trucks, cargo trucks, empty trucks that are all lined up, sometimes for kilometers at the approach of the port.
So we don't even have a better port environment from Nigeria in this, like in Tema and Takoda that you visited. It's still the same thing. Is that what you're saying?
So I think Nigeria is a lot better now. Yes, Nigeria is a lot better now in terms of coordination of truck movement into the port. I did
but I'm quite curious, because if you look at port efficiencies in West African countries, Nigeria is not doesn't make the first 10.
Yes.
So how this contrast I'm worried about.
So here is the reason. You have a lot of volume coming into some of these regional ports, like Lome, for instance, like Abidjan. And the time it takes for the terminals to process the truck when it eventually gets in is usually between 40 to 45 minutes. Here in Nigeria, we're still doing about between 1 hour to 2 hours. So when you measure it from that matrix, what happens when the truck has done what we call in terminal? It has arrived at the terminal. How long does it take the terminal to serve that truck? Nigeria is not measuring up to other West African countries. So
that's the gap.
Yes. So what we are seeing now is a gap in terms of terminal efficiency. If it is in terms of traffic control, Nigeria has done better than some of them. In fact, than most of them in terms of traffic control. But when it now comes to terminal efficiency, we're not doing well. And I'll tell you a secret, number why we are not yet measuring up. It's a difference in business model. So the terminals in Nigeria make a lot of money from delays to cargo.
Oh, I see.
So shippers pay a lot of money for storage. So the longer the cargo stays in the terminal, the more money the terminal operator makes. Whereas in these other regional ports, you make more money through your throughput, how many you process, and not how long you keep the cargo.
So what kind of impact do you foresee if ECOWAS countries can brace up and adopt a unified digital system to address traffic, parking, and border logistics?
I think it is going to shoot up the ease of doing business within ECOWAS. Instead of a truck driver spending a week to drive from Sokoto to Abidjan, that could be done in 4 days. You can cut out 40% of that travel time if you have a digital-based system for parking, for customs inspection, and for in-terminaling and left terminaling. And this is how this would work. Let's say, for instance, a driver who leaves Lagos, for instance, heading to Accra, knows that he's going to take a break after 8 hours. And based on the road condition, this is where his 8 hours will land him. there is a rest stop. There's a truck rest stop there for him to stay. He could have his vehicle checked. He could have a good night's sleep. And by 6 a.m. the next morning, he could leave for Tema Port. So, and when he arrives at Tema Port, he is expected, because he is already on the system. He's on a system that has tracked his movement from Lagos all the way to Tema. The port is expecting him, so he's not coming as a surprise to the port. It would shorten the time it takes for him to be serviced, because simply what needs to be done is customs needs to inspect the cargo that he's bringing in, and then he needs to go to the quayside to drop the container or the bulk cargo, whatever that is. That is going to shorten by at least 40% the travel time of cargo between these borders. It is also going to improve the quality of life of the drivers. Personally, it pains me to see a full-blooded adult human being sleeping outside during the night because no provision was made for him to sleep. There's no provision for...
So that's another thing to consider.
Correct. So the rest stops,
yes.
The rest stops are supposed to come with temporary accommodation.
Okay, in 30 seconds, if you can do this. The call-up system, the model you have is for Nigeria. So if any of the countries in West Africa will want to buy into this call-up system, are they sure they will be impressed at the results that Nigeria has for the call-up system?
So the call-up system is designed for the region, not for Nigeria. And I will come to that, like you said, in 30 seconds. So the call-up system is designed to be a cross-border platform, and it can manage an unlimited amount of truck traffic. So that's one. Second, in 2023, we have created the ETO platform in such a way that it could handle even multi-currency wallets. So whether you are transacting in cedis, in CFA, in Liberian dollar or US dollar or Naira, you can have a wallet on ETO. And as long as you funded your wallet, you can receive service across the region. The third is that ETO can speak Chui. ETO can speak French, it can speak English, and it can speak Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. So irrespective of where you are coming from, you are able to use the platform. So the only thing that remains is simply to plug by what we call API, to integrate it with the systems of any other port authority, customs, or Ministry of Transport along the region. That's all that is required. And we are doing that very, very excellently well with other platforms.
So I look forward really to a time where we can be able to integrate the ECOWAS countries by the call-up system and ensure that this congestion is being addressed, and we have port efficiency and we can be able to compete with other ports. I must thank you for your time and your thoughts once again on the show. It's always a pleasure talking to you. It's been Jama Onwubuariri. He's the Managing Director, Truck Transit Park Limited. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me as well.
And that's our show this week. Join us every week on Maritime Radar as we explore potentials that will ensure the development of the maritime sector in Africa. You can also expect the latest in global and local maritime news, plus industry insights right here. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Many thanks for your time, and see you again next week.
Maritime Radar, brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council.